welcome to this Astranti YouTube video on the MCS's most recent examiner's report. The May report is not out yet, but just in preparation for the upcoming August sitting, I'm just going to go over the key points to take away from the February 19 MCS examiner's report, and the key issues that arise in this report typically spell out the things where you can pick up the most marks and be better responders to this exam. Overall, the standard of answers was reasonable according to the examiners. However, the main problem, and they cite it as a very common problem, was candidates not answering what was asked. Now, one of the key things to do at the MCS level is to really plan your answer. Make sure you look at all the information, make sure you read the question really thoroughly and plan it out before you write anything. This may make you a little bit stressed at the start because a lot of the time we have nervous energy and we want to really get into the exam and just write down everything we know, but the most important part is to make sure we're answering the right question. If you misread the question, misinterpret the question, that is going to be a very negative result for you. So the key thing to do is make sure you understand what the examiner is looking for, plan your response, and then write it in a very concise and structured way. On top of this, students failed to use the information in the pre-scene and the exhibits. So the exhibits are the bit at the end of the pre-scene, and also they are the unseen information within the actual exam itself. If you do not draw upon the materials, you are then talking about something in a vacuum away from the case, and they want you to apply your knowledge. That's what all the case studies are about. They're about turning your instrumental knowledge into applied knowledge for that level of expertise. And in this case, we are trying to monitor the implementation of the strategy. So we are actually taking a step above the operational level and making sure that we are seeing how the strategy translates to operations and highlighting where this may not be the case, where it may be best to consider something else, outlining the risks, etc. So overall, candidates often gave very good, or very general rather, answers that did not fully answer what was asked. So again, make sure you plan and make sure you use all the material available to you. A lot of the financial reporting answers were better, but still not as good as they could be. So that is another hint. Make sure you know all your IFRS knowledge, including those that changed recently in the CIMA syllabus in January from an IAS to an IFRS. Make sure you've got those down. That is things like leases, for example, that did have a change. Make sure you know it in case you've done F2 a while ago, because F2 can't be tested via calculations at the case study. They don't do calculations. So one of the main areas is the IFRS testing, and understanding about the financial reporting aspects will go a long way. So if you are struggling for time, at the very least in terms of F2, make sure you know the IFRS's inside out, like the general frameworks, why, how, and how this actually solves problems. Basically, the main question that comes up is the implications of an event. So if you acquire a company and become a group account, then you need to be able to explain the implications for our accounting in our financial statements with group accounts. So again, that's where we're going to bring in our IFRS. And the final thing I want to leave you with today, I will go over some more examiner report stuff and some tips and tricks in future videos. But for now, please read this sentence. As with all the case studies, the strongest answers were properly applied. So as I mentioned, the case study is about turning instrumental knowledge to applied knowledge. It's the biggest thing you need to prepare for. So do mock exams, look at the past papers, just familiarize yourself with the kind of response they want. Now with that said, this is the end of the short video, but I will see you in a video soon where we'll go over other aspects of the MCS and how we can best prepare ahead of the case releasing in a couple weeks. So thank you very much for listening. Feel free to hit the bell and subscribe if you like this kind of content. It really does help out the channel, and I will see you next time.